Alright, so today, as you guys can see, I have a new poster in the room, so that's cool, but we're not here to talk about my poster. Death Note One Shot. Now I'd rate it a 10 out of 10 because it was just exactly what I expected it to be. No better, no less. It was just exactly what I needed it to be. It had great artwork, great pacing, and that's really all I can wish from a manga, and the great storytelling, of course, just the Death Note style to it. Like, that's it. It was just equally as dark. Well, it was a bit more dark, I guess, but it was pretty dark, and it just kind of did really well showing the aftermath and the after effects that Light Yagami Kira had on the Death Note world, so that was cool. Now, if you came here for no spoilers, that was all the no spoiler review shit that I was gonna cover. Like, that's it. Like, if you came here for no spoilers, go read that shit right now, because I'm finna spoil it. Now, Death Note One Shot is exactly what it sounded like. It's just a one-shot story, just a like nice little like short story, I guess you could call it, of what's really going on in the Death Note universe. Basically, what's happening is that a kid named Minoru Tanaka has the Death Note. He like basically this nigga Ryu, I think that's his name, Ryuk, I think that's his name. He pulled up on this man Minoru and just gave him the Death Note. But there's a bit more to it than that. I'm not gonna get into the details, but yeah, that's all you really need to know. Ryo gave this kid the Death Note, and he didn't actually want to use the Death Note. His purpose, like, he uses the Death Note, but not actually fucking use the Death Note. Like, he didn't use it to kill nobody. He didn't write anything in it. He just used it in his own specific way. One thing that I feel like Tanaka lacked that Light Yagami had is that his brains, but they obviously justified it as soon as they introduced him as a character because he's known as the smartest middle schooler. Like, Light Yagami, I'm pretty sure, but he was known as like the smartest like nigga in the nation. But this kid, he's the smartest middle schooler. Obviously, those are two different leagues, so him not being as smart and using all these cool strategies that Light was, it's not really that surprising. And although he wasn't like using like fucking super smart strategies and strategizing, I feel like, in my opinion, compared to the shit that Light was doing, his strategizing was pretty basic. He was still like doing pretty good for himself. Like, the new L couldn't catch him. Also, one thing that kind of confused me is like, who was the new L? Like, was it Nier with longer hair, or was it just a female? I couldn't really tell. Yeah, I was confused there. Not really like a bad thing. I mean, I really don't care. L didn't serve too much of a purpose. He just kind of broke down Tanaka's strategies throughout the manga, throughout the whole like little short story thing. Tanaka, although he just had these like cool strategies, like Nier was really the ones who broke him down. And I think it's Nier. I'm gonna just say L, but L was really the ones who broke him down because Tanaka just didn't commentate his strategies all over to the audience, us. But yeah, like I said earlier, Tanaka, he basically uses the Death Note without writing in it. His first thought when he got it was selling it. He sells it by getting Ryuk to like appear on television. Well, not appear because people can't see him. Tanaka got him to appear on TV with a fucking note in his hand saying, I'm selling the Death Note, blah 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 blah, come get it, start bidding on Twitter. So basically his plan was to not fucking like use the Death Note and kill people. It was just to sell it and make a lot of money. And the way he went about it was kind of smart, I guess, like I said earlier. But like I said earlier, Light Yagami's whole approach to it was much more strategical, because first off, Light Yagami actually, when he was Kira, like, he actually had to run away from the authorities. Like, he couldn't actually just fucking be Kira out loud. Or, I mean, Tanaka didn't be Kira out loud either. He wasn't even Kira. All he did was sell it, and he couldn't really, like, that wasn't, what I'm basically trying to say is that Tanaka really wasn't given the opportunity to, like, show off his strategical skills, because mostly he didn't have to, like, use his strategical skills to hide himself from people. He didn't really even have to hide himself from people, because he didn't have to, like, hide, because he didn't do nothing illegal. That's what I'm saying. Like, Light was able to put his strategical skills on show because he actually had to do stuff and hide from people and survive. But Tanaka, he did not have to do that. Basically what happened was that he tried to sell it on Twitter, and basically on Twitter, people were already, like, on the first day, I believe, people were already offering like $3 million for the book. He obviously saw the bigger picture because he is a smart person. He was a smart character. He didn't just go after like, yo, somebody's selling this shit for like $3 million. Like, oh, I'm about to go sell it right now. Like, that wasn't his thought. Those weren't his thoughts at all. Like, the Death Note has the power to like give people, you know, fucking authority over the world. Like, any country that gets a hold of the Death Note becomes a dominant country. Like, that, there is no way you're selling that shit for $3 million. Like, that's cheap. So fast forward a little bit, people, the government officials and leaders of countries started hearing about it, and it's like, hey, they started bids on it, and basically the main bids rivals were like, I think China, Japan, and America, and they actually featured Donald Trump. If you heard about this shit, you already obviously seen it on Twitter. They actually don't refer to him as Donald Trump, but you can tell it's Donald Trump by the character design. It's not really fucking hard to put the pieces together. Basically, in the end of their bidding, Donald Trump basically buys the Death Note for like, what, I think $2 quadrillion. Although selling the Death Note might have seemed like really a money hungry thing for him to do, and taking all quadrillion of the dollars that he received from selling it for himself would have been stupid and got him caught immediately. So what he did was, everybody under the age of 60, I think any city, it might have been in Japan, like in general, I think it's in his city, specific city, or Japan, I could be, it doesn't matter either way, but in his city, he split all of the money, like all quadrillion of the dollars, because people, like, it's $2 quadrillion, and basically basically what they dumbed that down to is that splitting up $250,000,000 between everybody in Japan would have like left everybody with at least 1,000,000,000 yen, or like $1,000,000,000 each. Tanaka added some specific rules to it though. Like he had said they had to have an account in a specific bank and had to be under the age of 60 to be eligible to get $1,000,000,000. So yeah, he played it pretty smart there. And by the way, like just to make this clear, like he didn't get caught the whole time. L's plan to find him was, even though he wasn't finding him, but he wasn't trying to find him to catch him and like be like, hey, you're a criminal or some shit like that. He just wanted to catch him and talk to him. L's whole plan to find him was that, hey, when he takes the $250,000,000 and like basically just takes it all into his one bank account, we're gonna be able to find him that way and track his bank account. But he didn't do that. He spread all his money across Japan, and there was nothing that L could do. I feel like there was some. I feel like the normal, like the black-haired L would have found something to do about it. Like he probably would have found some way to get across that. I feel like it was more situational when the black-haired L was in office, I guess you could say, because he actually was trying to find a mass killer and not somebody trying to sell a death note for profit. So this L was doing it for fun, while the other L would actually have to do it. Like he had to do that shit. So I'm pretty sure if he really wanted to, he probably could have caught Tanaka, but he didn't. So I'm not even gonna talk about that. But basically, he sold it to Donald Trump. Everybody in Japan has $1,000,000,000 now. But one thing that happened is that the Shinigami King spoke to Ryuk and told him like, hey, you cannot just sell the death note like this. So basically, the buyer and the seller has to die whenever like the whole like deal is done. Ryuk pulled up on Donald Trump and told him immediately. You probably already seen this on Twitter because this shit kind of blowing up on Twitter. But Ryuk pulled up on Donald Trump and was like, hey, like you can take the death note, but if you take it, you're gonna die. Donald Trump really just said, no, I'm not taking this, but I'm going to keep it and just tell other countries that, hey, I have the death note, I'm powerful. And this man Rio hit him with a bar. He was like, oh, so you value yourself more than your country, I got you. But once the deal was done, Tanaka basically told Ryuk, once he went to Donald Trump to like finally like seal the deal, Tanaka told Ryuk not to pull up on him no more. Like he didn't want to speak, he didn't want to be bothered with him. So Ryuk didn't get to warn him about the new deal that the king of Shinigami placed, and he didn't get to warn him that Tanaka was gonna die. Basically, after the deal was done, Tanaka dies at the end, and that's really the end of the story. And it was good. It was good. Like I said earlier, 10 out of 10. It was exactly what I expected. I didn't expect any more, any less. One thing that I kind of wish that they did was develop Tanaka's character a bit more, so when he died, it would have gave me more emotion. It would have gave me more of an emotional feeling, because I like it when niggas die in anime and make me feel sad. But the only thing that really made me feel sad about his death, that he was a fucking middle schooler, and that was really it.